everyone, and welcome to the start of season 4 of Behind Your Eyes. I have a wonderful guest to start this season with. Ulla is here. So, hi, Ulla, if you would like to introduce yourself to our viewers.
Hello, everyone. Such a joy to be part of this wonderful series. I am Ulla Suokko, and I am from Finland, but have lived in different parts of the world. I am a transformational coach and what I call a personal energy manager for people to help people manage their own energies and direct their lives. I am also a professional musician and a concert artist, but have been now more concentrated in the personal transformation and personal development work, since COVID and the close downs.
Well, I always start every episode with the same question. Sincere, how are you doing?
I am doing well, thank you. I am really grateful to be right now in Finland and close to my mom, and then be able to also then do my work with beautiful clients from all over the world. I am just so happy about this technology that also now unites you and I today as well.
And as you said, you have been a musician, a flutist, and now you teach people mostly about working with the universe and seeing signs. And I'm very interested in how that path was for you.
Yes, I by no means have stopped being a flutist and a performer. It's just a little bit more in the back burner at this moment. But my path to personal development and knowing ourselves and then recognizing the signs of the universe through that, it all began for me. I wanted to look for tools for me, especially as a performing artist in New York City. I had amazing opportunities to perform in big stages, and I wanted to find ways to be fully aligned with my own creativity and my own power, and to manage also some performance nerves that I had. And then I realized that there are a lot of good tools that I can share with the world, and that's how I started also then kind of sharing, doing workshops or doing some private work with other performers in New York, and then little by little having a private practice also of this personal development work. This was over 20 years ago in New York when it all started.
Yeah, I love working together with the universe, and I'm a big fan of looking for signs, asking for signs. And I'm also a high sensitive person, and to me that seems to be quite connected. Don't know if it's true, but that people that are high sensitive are a bit more like open to seeing that or open to connecting with the universe. Is that true in your opinion?
Yes, of course. But also I think that we all have that sensitivity. Sometimes we need to know ourselves so that we know that my way of connecting is different from yours, so that we all can honor exactly the instrument that we are. And I also think that the more we know ourselves, the more we know how the universe speaks to us, because it speaks to all of us in our very own language. It's in the end, it's not something outside of us, but it's kind of that oneness thing that we learn about ourselves, and then we learn about the universe. We learn about the signs of the universe. We learn more about ourselves. And always I say that no matter what the signs are, you are the interpreter. And it's very important that we learn interpret the signs based on who we are and not based on what we think we should be or what the signs should mean, or looking in the books. I do look in the books or Google as well, but always the final interpretation happens through the filter of the resonance of my heart.
And I think personally it is a great tool for me to give a more like peace of mind, and a great tool for good mental health. And what would you advise people who want to use that more as a tool for calmness?
I love that question, because often it happens that we look for signs when we desperately need it. Oh my God, I need to decide. I don't know what to do. Like, and then I always say, okay, first of all, let's work with your energy so that you learn simple tools, how you can shift your energy, your vibration, your state of being, so that you come to a peaceful place first. And then you ask for a sign, because then the signs can serve us better and give us actually clarity, because the signs themselves, they are just a signpost along the way. They themselves do not decide for us. So what would I say is, again, to find ways to go to that quiet place and practice play with the universe when everything is okay. So we don't wait for the last moment. And many times people come to me also, you know, when they are like, I've tried everything and nothing seems to work. And then we work a little bit, and then a client says, you know, I don't have anything to work with. I said, great. Now we can actually play with the universe. We can expand the goodness. We can celebrate what already is there. So it's not just that we play with the universe when we are in a hard place in life. We can learn to find the lightness and the joy and playfulness and the communication at all times. And that way we can learn to trust our own inner guidance and our own inner wisdom. And we can learn to trust the signs that we get, rather than like, oh my God, I got this sign, I don't know what it means, or I got this sign and it didn't lead me where I wanted to go. It doesn't always lead to where we want to go, but it tells us where we are. And I always say that the universe always says yes to us, which means that it does respond to what we put out, and it's more the vibration rather than just the words.
Is it almost like it's a mirror that's reflecting back to us, but almost like what is in our heart?
You could say it that way too. It's really, the more we open up to this, I always say you are the universe. You are not just the center of the universe, you are it, in the kind of holographic way. We learn to know the universe through who we are, and the universe itself knows itself through who we are.
And what are your best ways or techniques that you connect with that part within yourself and through that to the universe?
I think simply really just grounding, connecting with the feet to the ground and breathing in the energy of the earth, and just opening up a beautiful openness to the light of the universe, so that the light can come through, and then the energy of the earth and the light of the universe can flow through us and express through us. And for me personally, the best way to get to that flow is walking in nature, really truly walking on a path in a forest. But you can also do it in your own living room, using your imagination. I lived over 10 years in Peru, in the Andes. So I often, in my meditations, I go to the mountains, and I really feel that I'm really met by the energy of the mountains.
Yeah, because like you said, it's all like vibrational, everything is energy.
And everything is present in us vibrationally. You know, physicality is what it is, but the more we learn to play with I would say also our imagination, because imagination really is the language for our intuition to speak to us. So I always say, like, don't buy into that, oh, it's just your imagination. No, cultivate, expand it. And that's why I would say read, dance, write, be very, very imaginative, because that way then the language that the universe can speak to you expands.
So you believe really in the power also of visualization?
Yes, absolutely. But we do that in different ways. So some people might have hard time to actually visualize things, and then they think, oh, that's not for them. But when I actually say envision or visualize, I also mean feel it. Like, even if you don't see anything, really feel it. How would it feel to be in those mountains?
Yes.
How would it feel to, you know, live your ideal life?
Yeah.
And that feeling is the vibration with which we program our brain to look for evidence.
Yeah.
And that feeling is the vibration that we program then, or we signal the universe also to respond to us.
Yeah.
And the same way, if we feel like really rotten and we say, oh, all the time, every time this happens, it's like, yes, beautiful one, dear one, let's just be gentle here. Because once you start coming out of there little by little, then the reality actually shifts.
Yeah. The power of mindset is really strong.
Yeah. Mind together with that feeling, the vibration, so that we actually, we kind of program everything through the feeling, which actually then creates actual body chemistry. And that's why also certain, habitual ways of thinking in a heavy way, it keeps creating body chemistry that might be difficult at first to shift, because it is actual chemistry and our body is used to that chemistry. So we have to be gentle and little by little let our body to catch up with the programming of the mind and the vibration.
And of course, a lot of people have a strong connection with the universe, but how would you like almost advise them, yes, to start right now, like maybe a meditation or?
Yeah, and there too, know yourself. Meditation, we think that we know what it is, but just play with it, because meditation doesn't necessarily mean sitting quietly. It might be a walking meditation, it might be a dancing meditation, or you might do a meditation when you shower yourself, you wash yourself, and you are thankful for your skin and your body and your organs, and or you might wash your dishes and have that be your meditation, that you just put your gratitude in that. It can be so many things. So I would say to people in general, find a way for you to focus your energy in whatever way where you can feel that you are in a flow and that things are moving. Also ask yourself, does this make me feel light or heavy? And follow lightness. Always follow lightness. And then when we feel really heavy, it might feel like, blah, 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 follow lightness. Easy for you to say. But then we need to do just little practical things, just even a little bit. So like, make yourself a good cup of coffee or tea or whatever you drink, and just take a moment with that and just be with the coffee.
Mm.
And so that it can that we'll find the freedom in the discovery of who we are, so that the spiritual practice is not separate from who we are, and that we don't feel pressured or stressed that it should look like something.
Yeah, or that
But
it's another task on your to-do list.
yes,
Mm.
yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then it's actually stressful, and then we feel like, oh, I'm not good at this.
Yeah.
So
Then you get
really
even more
find a way.
disconnected. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in your personal life, how do you stay mentally healthy?
Mm, in my personal life, because I do these different energy modalities, and uh and I have so many tools that I use all for myself, and then I share them with the world as well, with my clients. It varies also depending on what I need. I'm always asking people, what do you need? And I'm asking that of myself too, so that we learn to not wait for our needs to be met from outside, and learn not to wait for the conditions to be perfect in the outside, but we learn to give to ourselves, what do I need, so that I can be peaceful and happy here and now.
Yeah.
And so it varies, to be present with yourself and to ask yourself what you need. Sometimes it might be a glass of water, sometimes it might be moving, stretching your body, sometimes it might be to go for a walk, sometimes it might be just to lie down and do nothing.
Yeah.
And to allow that also to be a communication. Some people want a structure and kind of a ritual, or certain kind of things every day, certain time.
Yeah.
And some people need variety for any of that to work. So know yourself,
Yeah.
ask yourself, what do you need? In my personal life, it doesn't mean that having all these tools that I'm all like light and love all the time and nothing happens. I'm bumped against density as much as everybody else.
Yeah.
But maybe what I have learned over the years is that when I feel heavy, or when I feel that I'm bumping against something, I don't take myself well, I do take myself seriously, but I don't go with that story. I
Yeah.
don't create a story around it. I acknowledge it. Okay, I feel like beep. And so
Yeah. Yeah.
now what do I do?
Yes, yes.
And sometimes doing something physical helps. Really just doing something physical, if nothing else, jumping jacks for a while so you are exhausted, or push-ups, or
Yeah.
whatever
To
it
get
is.
the energy moving again, the stagnant
Get
energy.
energy moving again, kind of distracting yourself from
Mhm.
what could become a story,
Mm.
and
Yeah.
have more heaviness. And also that means that I am way better now, not to let it go for days.
Mm.
I know how to pull myself out of the heavy story,
Yeah.
and sometimes it's just that I'm physically tired
Mhm.
and I need to rest more. I just need to take care of myself more and give myself more time with
Yeah.
me. I love photographing, so I go with my camera to the woods
Mhm.
and commune with birds and trees, and
Mm.
so that is really beautiful for me.
And have you ever experienced any mental health problems yourself?
Well, I think that mental health
Mhm.
can be a label that
Mhm.
that of course exists, and in my personal opinion, being a human being means that we do go through finding, you know, where are our danger points and where is the balance. And I think that for me personally, I kind of felt blessed to learn certain kind of tools and having certain kind of guidance, even when I was young, to start taking care of my my personal energy hygiene, so to speak, so that I know that I haven't, while I might have been closing up to the edge where it could go to kind of out of control, so to speak. I have felt out of control many times, but that's different. I have known how to bring myself back to the center and how to take care of myself. And also I have learned throughout the years, it has not always been easy, but I have learned to ask for help.
Yes, very important.
Very, very important.
Yeah.
And so as such, I wouldn't necessarily say that I have had mental health problems as I understand that word, but certainly have had my share of maybe even thinking that I have mental health problems.
Yeah. And
I think,
sorry.
Yeah, no, I just want to say that I also think that we live in a day and age where there is so much information about everything.
Yeah.
And I think that sometimes we kind of buy into some of these labels in a way that it might not quite be true. But at the same time, I really truly want to honor those who are struggling with something that then needs actual professional clinical help. And I have worked with people who have first gotten their medical help, and then they come to me to kind of learn the practical energy management skills with me. But as all us, complementary energy people, I always say that when there is an actual either mental or physical, psychological need, that it is important to consult a healthcare professional.
And what is your own favorite way of self-care?
I think that it is walking in nature. I think it's walking in nature, but I also every day I do healing work, and I do that on myself, and I do that with clients. Every day I have some kind of session going on. So I think that also keeps me really connected with the lifeline to the divine. And I think that like I said before, that it is absolutely important that we know ourselves and know what we need. Sometimes maybe my favorite thing is to binge watch a series in Netflix. and I love it. I love it. So but I might need to pay the price the next day because but it's also like something like that, as long as it's not happening every day and every moment of your free time. to do it with joyous abandon. It's lovely.
And to you, what are the most special moments in the healing sessions with your clients?
I think that there are those moments when we both kind of feel like, ooh, hey, okay,
something's happening here.
Something's happening, and there's like what I call, actually, I call it a shift. That there might be heaviness and heaviness and heaviness and heaviness, and then all of a sudden, oh, where's that heaviness?
Yeah.
And so I think that it is that shift, which means that something has changed. I remember years ago I read the books by Castañeda, the anthropologist Carlos Castañeda, who went to study with the Mexican shaman, and he came to his teacher Don Juan one day and said, I got it, I understood it. And Don Juan looks at him, it's like, I've not gotten anything. And he said something that I remember. I think I was like 17 when I read this, and there was something he said that I remembered. He said, when you really get something, you don't have to shout it out. You don't have to celebrate. You don't have to tell anybody. It just changes your life, and you will never be the same.
Yeah.
And I think that's I'm very easily like, oh, wow. But then like, okay, this is a stepping stone. This is a stepping stone. I'm getting closer. And then all of a sudden I might realize, hey, I didn't even realize when it happened, but something is different. And the reflection that comes back from so-called reality is different.
Yeah.
And so I think that's the magical moment when something just quietly has happened and we don't even know when exactly it took place.
Beautiful. Yeah. And what is the best advice you were ever given?
Whoa, I have been given so many beautiful insights and moments.
Oh, you can share a few if you want.
Because immediately when you say that, I have like this incredible warmth of all these beautiful teachers that I have had in different fields, and even encounters. Something that comes to my mind right now is when I was telling a friend that I have done all this for this person, and I even did this and this and this, and I bent backwards and I put so much energy and so much care and all of that, and look at him, he's not even helping me with this little thing. And my friend looked at me and he said, well, Ulla, that's not why you do all these things. You do them because you choose to do them, but don't ever wait for anything back from anyone. You either do it or you don't do it, and they either reciprocate or they don't, but you are not doing it because of that. And that is really important, I think, and it has stayed with me. And I often even say to my clients, I say, you don't love or you don't care because the other one deserves it. You do that because you choose to be that kind of person.
Yes.
And I think that's something that really kind of stopped my world for a moment to change it right there and then. And sometimes it's hard to remember, but it's a good reminder that also people, myself included, who have maybe been disappointed in love or something, not to be afraid of love, thinking that I'm going to be disappointed again, but I choose to love because I choose to be that kind of person. And I choose to trust people, and I choose to be generous with people, not because they deserve it or I think they will give me something back.
Yeah,
but
or that need of approval, of course.
I'm sorry?
And then the need for approval, of course.
Yes. Approval, validation. Clearing that plate and to know that actually kind of trusting that it will come back in some form or another, and we don't have to worry about that. It will keep moving and dancing, and that is very true. And another thing that kind of based on all of that, I also have learned and keep close to my heart, that don't look for love from where it's not, but allow it in from where it is. And again, myself included, I have felt that I'm unworthy of love because this person doesn't love me no matter what I do. But it's like learning that it's not a reflection of me. It has nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with me if they love me either.
I always say, like, what other people think of me is none of my business.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Well, my final question, also, I always end with the same question on every episode. When are you at your happiest?
My life is right now so different. Things have definitely shifted for me, and I'm in a flow with it. And that too is an interesting question, because I could tell you something, but I want to listen to myself and be really present with the question. I think it is exactly when I actually am present, no matter when or where I am. But when I really am present and I really truly feel that there's nothing missing in my life. And that's in a way what I also help people realize, that we can choose that, and we can practice having that being our state of being, and to learn to just to be grateful, not even like think that I'm grateful, but actually just be grateful and be love in action, and be present with all that is, was, and will be. And yes, I'm off sometimes, but when am I happiest? I am happiest when I realize that happiness is within me. It doesn't need certain conditions. I can be it, have it, love it, and share it at any given time. And yes, sometimes it's easier said than done, and that's just part of being human. We move through density, and life gives us opportunities to discover deeper and deeper who we are and who we want to be, and also how to give to ourselves what we need at any given time. And sometimes we just need space to feel our feelings, whatever they are. I just want to say that it doesn't mean that we have to always be up and but that we can be that only if we also have courage to meet all the feelings that come up.
You always say, feel it all to heal it all.
Yes, and that's also something that I want to say, that happiness is not happy, happy, happy. Happiness is to accept yourself and love yourself, and through that be love in action, no matter what is going on in your life.
Yeah. Thank you so much for today, Ulla. It was such a pleasure talking to you, and really I'm honored that you are on my show.
Thank you. Thank you. Lovely to converse with you, and much love to everyone, and my heart is with you.